Okay, stage 4, paragraph page 256. And our last headword, different forms of have, new word, type of lesson. Okay, so let's start with revision. Ready?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Are you always willing to try anything new? Are you always willing to try anything new? Yes or no?
No, I'm
I'm
not
not
always willing
to try anything new.
try to
To
try
try
anything
anything
new.
new. Very good. Do some people sometimes try to do the impossible? Do some people sometimes try to do the impossible? Yes, some people
Yes, some people
sometimes
sometimes
try to
try to
do the
do
impossible.
something impossible.
Very good. Are cities quiet places to live in? Are cities quiet places to live in? No,
Yes.
cities.
Oh,
No,
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 cities
cities aren't quiet places
aren't quite
to
places to
live
live
in.
in.
They're noisy places.
They are noisy places.
Very good. Is village life noisy? Is village life noisy? No, village
No,
life isn't noisy.
the village life isn't noisy.
It's quiet.
It's quiet.
Very good. Which do you think's the noisiest street in your town? Which do you think's the noisiest street in your town? I think
I think the ABC Street is the noisiest street
it,
in this town.
very good. Are motorbikes quieter than bicycles? Are motorbikes quieter than bicycles? No, motorbikes
No,
aren't
motorbikes
quieter than
aren't
bicycles.
quieter than the
They're
bicycles.
noisier
They're
than bicycles.
noisier than the bicycles.
Very good. Are you sorry when the winter ends? Are you sorry when the winter ends? Yes or no?
No, I'm
I'm
not
not sorry
sorry
when
when
the winter
winter ends.
ends. I'm pleased.
I'm pleased.
Very good. Will you be sorry if it's a sunny day tomorrow? Will you be sorry if it's a sunny day tomorrow? No, I won't be
No, I
sorry
won't be
if
sorry
it's a
if
sunny day
it's a
tomorrow.
sunny day
I'll
tomorrow.
be pleased.
I'll be pleased.
Very good. What do we say to people when they do something wrong? What do we say to people when we do something wrong? We say, I'm sorry
We
to
say
people
I'm sorry to
when we
people
do something
when we
wrong.
do something wrong.
Very good. What's the past of have? What's the past of have? The past of
The
have
past of
is
have
had.
is hard.
What did I have in my hand last lesson? What did I have in my hand last lesson? You had a pen
You
in
had a
your hand
pen in your
last
hand
lesson.
last lesson.
Very good. What did you have for your breakfast this morning? What did you have for your breakfast this morning? I had some.
I had I had some. I had nothing this for
Nothing yet.
breakfast this
How about
morning.
coffee? Nothing yet? No,
No,
no coffee yet. Oh, we I had coffee, but no food.
just a water.
Right, okay, so let's have that. I had some water
I had some
for
water
my
for my
breakfast this morning.
breakfast this morning.
Oh, you're on a diet. Okay. What did she have for her breakfast this morning? What did she have for her breakfast this morning? She have
She
some
had
toast,
some eggs
some
or
eggs,
toast,
some
an
eggs,
egg
curry rice
for,
for her breakfast this morning. Very
for
big
her
breakfast,
breakfast
right?
this morning.
Very good. I wonder why she's not fat. Okay. Did we have any shoes on our feet yesterday? Did we have any shoes on our feet yesterday? Yes, we had
Yes,
some
we
shoes
had some
on
shoes
our
on
feet
our feet
yesterday.
yesterday.
Did they have any money in their pockets last lesson? Did they have any money in their pockets last lesson? Yes, they had
Yes,
some
they
money
had some
in
money
their
in their
pockets
pockets
last lesson.
at last lesson.
Yeah, but none anymore because she asked for it. Okay, what's the past of can? What's the past of can? The past of can is
Past
could.
tense is
Could.
could.
Very good. Can, could. Could you speak English 15 years ago? Could you speak English 15 years ago? Yes or no?
Yes, I
I
could
could speak
speak English in
15,
15
15
years
years
ago.
ago. Very good. Not,
15
no
years
more
ago.
in. Okay, right. One more. No, I mean, yes, I could speak
Yes, I
English
could
15
speak
years
English
ago.
15 years ago.
Very good. Could you write your name when you were a baby of 6 months old? Could you write your name when you were a baby of 6 months old? No, I
No,
couldn't
I
write my
couldn't
name
write my
when I
name
was a
when
baby
I was a
of
baby
six
of
months old.
6 years old
Six
or
months
six
old.
months old.
Very good. Could you read when you were a little baby? Could you read when you were a little baby? No, I couldn't
No, I
read
couldn't
when I
read
was
when
a
I
little
was a
baby.
little baby.
Very good. Okay, do you think maybe it'll rain later? Do you think maybe it'll rain later? Yes or no?
Yes, I
I think
think
maybe
maybe
it'll rain later.
it will rain. It will rain later.
Right. Do you think perhaps you'll meet a friend of yours on your way home after the lesson? Do you think perhaps you'll meet a friend of yours on your way home after the lesson? Yes or no?
No,
I
I don't
don't
think.
think I'll meet a friend
May,
of mine
maybe I'll meet a friend of mine
on my way
after
home
on
after
my
the
way
lesson.
home after the
One
lesson.
more. No, I don't think
No,
I'll
I
meet
don't
a
think
friend of
I'll
mine
meet a friend
on
of
my way
mine
home after
on
the
my
lesson.
way home after the lesson.
Right? Do you think maybe you'll go to the cinema next month? Do you think maybe you'll go to the cinema next month? Yes or no?
No, I don't think.
I'll go.
Maybe I'll go.
No more maybe. No, I don't think
No, I don't
I'll
think
go to
I
the
go to
cinema
the cinema
next month.
next month.
Very good. Do you like sweet food? Do you like sweet food? Yes or no?
No, I don't like sweet food.
Did you eat a lot of sweets when you were a child? Did you eat a lot of sweets when you were a child? Yes or no?
No, I
I didn't
didn't
eat
eat
a lot
a
of
lot of
sweets
sweet
when I was
food
a child.
when I was a child.
Very good. Okay, next. Do we generally use contractions in spoken or written English? Do we generally use contractions in spoken or written English? We generally use
We
contractions
generally
in
use
spoken English.
contractions in spoken
Right,
English.
one more. We generally use contractions.
When we
We
u- we we generally use
in
contractions
spoken
in
English.
spoken English.
Right, do you think it's easier to understand written English or spoken English? Do you think it's easier to understand written English or spoken English? I think it's
I think
easier to
it's
understand
easier to understand, right?
written
Written
English.
English.
Very good. Okay, what's the contraction of book will? What's the contraction of book will? The
The
contraction of book
contraction
will
of book
is
will is
buckle.
buckle.
What's the contraction of tomorrow will? What's the contraction of tomorrow will? The
The
contraction of
contraction of
tomorrow will
tomorrow will
is
is
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
What's the contraction of the light will? What's the contraction of the light will? The contraction
The
of
contraction
the
of
light
light
will
will
is the
is
light
light
will.
will.
What's the contraction of the door will? What's the contraction of the door will? The
The
contraction of the
contraction
door
of
will
door will is
is
door.
door. What's the contraction of who will? What's the contraction of who will? The contraction
The
of who
contraction
will
of full will
is
is
who.
full.
Last one. What's the contraction of what will? What's the contraction of what will? The
The
contraction
contraction
of
of
what
what
will
will
is
is
what'll.
wattle.
Very good. Do we always use contractions in English? Do we always use contractions in English? No, we don't
No,
always use. We
we
don't
don't
always
always
use
use
contractions in English.
contraction in English.
When don't we use contractions? When don't we use contractions? We don't use
We don't
contractions
use
when they are
contractions
difficult
when they
to
are difficult
pronounce.
to pronounce.
Reggie, do you think tomorrow will be a cloudy day? Do you think tomorrow will be a cloudy day? Yes or no?
No,
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
tomorrow
tomorrow
will be
be
a
a
cloudy day.
cloudy day.
I think it'll be
I think
sunny.
it'll be sunny.
Very good. Will that picture be hanging on the wall next lesson? Will that picture be hanging on the wall next lesson? Yes, that
Yes,
picture will
the
be
picture the picture will be
hanging on the
hanging on the
wall next
wall
lesson.
next lesson.
Very good. Will the door be the same color next week as it is this week? Will the door be the same color next week as it is this week? Yes, the door will
Yes,
be the
the
same
door will
color
be the same color
next week as it is
next
this
week
week.
as it is this week.
Very good. Will Mr. Brown be here next lesson? Will Mr. Brown be here next lesson? Yes, Mr.
Yes,
Brown be
Mr.
here
will be here
next
next
lesson.
lesson.
Very good. Okay, how do you spell your name? How do you spell your name? I spell my
I
name
spell my name
M A M A Y U K.
MYUKO.
Oh, very good. Okay. Do you prefer to communicate with your friends by phoning or texting? Do you prefer to communicate with your friends by phoning or texting? I prefer to
I
communicate
prefer
with my
communicate
friends
with my
by
friends by phone.
phoning them,
Texting.
texting
Texting.
them. Very good.
Texting them.
Much cheaper, right? Okay. Do you think it's easier to communicate in spoken or written English? Do you think it's easier to communicate in spoken or written English? I think it's
I think
easier
it's
to
easier to
communicate in
communicate in spoken English
English than written English.
than written English.
Regid, can you communicate very complicated ideas easily in English? Can you communicate very complicated ideas easily in English? Yes or no?
No,
I
I
can't
can't
communicate
communicate
very
in
complicated
very
ideas
complicated
idea
ideas in
easily in
English
English.
easily in English yet.
Yeah, very good. Put the yeah. Okay. What's the negative of had? What's the negative of had? The negative
The
of had
negative of had
is hadn't.
is
Hadn't.
hadn't.
Very good. It's the contraction actually. Okay, next. What are the common ways of asking a question with the verb to have? What are the common ways of asking a question with the verb to have? The common ways
The
of
common
asking a
ways
question
of asking
with the
question
verb to
with
have
the verb to have
are
is
are do you have a pen?
are. Do you have a pen?
And have you got a pen?
And have you got a pen?
Very good. What are the common ways for the past tense? What are the common ways for the past tense? The common
The
ways for
common
the past
ways
tense are:
for the past
did
tense
you have a
are
pen?
did you have a
Had
pen?
you got a pen?
Have you got a pen?
Very good. Which is the most common way of asking a question with the verb have in the past? Which is the most common way of asking a question with the verb have in the past? The most
The
common way
most
of
common way
asking a question
of asking
with the
question
verb have
with
in the
the
past
verb in the past
is did you have?
is did you have?
Did you have your book with you last lesson? Did you have your book with you last lesson? Yes, I had my book
Yes,
with
I
me,
had my
book
book
with
with
me
me
last lesson.
last lesson.
Did I have a hat on my head last lesson? Did I have a hat on my head last lesson? No, no.
No,
You didn't have a hat
you didn't have a hat
on your
last
head,
lesson
on your head
on your head
last lesson.
last lesson.
Wait, had I got any money in my hand last lesson? Had I got any money in my hand last lesson? No, you hadn't
No,
got any money.
you
You had
hadn't got any
any money
money
in
in
your hand
your
last
hand
lesson.
last lesson.
Did I have my feet on the table last lesson? Did I have my feet on the table last lesson? No, you didn't
No,
have your
you
feet
didn't have a
on the
feed
table last
on the
lesson.
table last lesson.
Very good. Okay, so that's the end of our revision. Let's have new word. Okay, okay, so this is like quite the same pronunciation. Okay, repeat: practice
Practice,
and practice.
practice.
Sport, sport,
Sport
sport.
or sport?
Very
Sport.
good. Okay, listen. In British English, practice with the letter S is a verb, and practice with the letter C is a noun. Okay, everything in British with the letter C is a noun. S is a verb. Practice with an S means to do something again and again until you become better at something. So you practice. While practice with a C means a repeated exercise, like the process itself, the practice. Sport means game, such as basketball, soccer, tennis, etc. For example, if you want to become better at playing tennis, you have to practice a lot with the S, the verb. It's easier to become good at a sport if you get lots of practice, like the process, a noun. Let's practice. Did you practice your English after you left school yesterday? Did you practice your English after you left school yesterday? Yes or no?
No, I
I did
didn't practice English
My English
yesterday
after
after this
I left school yesterday. Or your
after
answer,
I
yesterday
after
after I left school.
yes yesterday I yesterday I
After I
left
left school.
after I left the school.
Very good. So that's also correct. One more. No, I didn't
No,
practice
I
my
didn't
English
practice my English
yesterday after I left
yesterday
school.
after I left the school.
Very good. Is it easier to become good at a sport if you get lots of practice? Is it easier to become good at a sport if you get lots of practice? Yes, it's easier
Yes,
to
it's
become good
easier to
at a
become
sport
good
if you
at
get
the
lots
sport
of practice. If you
if
get
I get if I get
lots
if
of
you get a lot of
lots
sport,
lots of practice.
lots of practice.
Very good. Okay, what's the difference between the noun practice and the verb practice? What's the difference between the noun practice and the verb practice? The difference between
The
the
difference
noun
between
practice
the
and the
noun
verb
practice and
practice is
the
that
verb
we
practice is
spell the
that
noun with a
we
C
spell the noun with
and
C
we spell
is
the verb
we spell the
with an
verb
S.
with S
With an S. Very good.
with an S.
Next, repeat would like.
Would like.
Very good. Okay, listen. Would like is a polite way of communicating that you want to do or have something. For example, I would like to meet you, or I would like to have some coffee, please. However, when we offer something to somebody, we can say, would you like? Okay, let's practice. What's a polite way of communicating that you want something? What's a polite way of communicating that you want something? A polite way of
A polite way
communicating
of
that you want
communicating
something
that
is to
you or
say,
something is to say,
I would
would
like.
you? Oh,
I
I
would
would
like.
like.
Very
I
good.
would like.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. I would like a cup of
I would
tea.
like a cup of
I would
tea.
like to watch
I would
that
like
TV
to watch
program.
that TV program.
Very good. What can we say when we offer something to somebody? What can we say when we offer something to somebody? When we offer
When
something
we offer
to
something
somebody, we
to
can say,
somebody, we
would you
can
like?
say, would you like?
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. Would you like a cup of
Would
tea?
you like a cup of
Would you
tea?
like to go to the cinema?
Would you like to go to a cinema?
Very good. Next, repeat. Visit
Visit
Australia.
Australia.
Very good. Okay, listen. Visit is a verb. It means to go to a place. Australia is a noun. It is a country. It's also a continent. For example, I'll visit Japan next year. Oh, I hope so. I'll visit Australia next year. I really do. Okay, let's practice. Can we learn a lot by visiting different countries? Can we learn a lot by visiting different countries? Yes, we can learn a
Yes,
lot
we can learn a
by
lot
visiting
by
different
visiting
countries.
different countries.
Like, did you visit any new places last month? Did you visit any new places last month? Yes or no?
No,
I
I
didn't
didn't
visit
visit
any new
any
places
new
last
places
month.
this month.
Megan, would you like to visit Australia in the future? Would you like to visit Australia in the future? Yes or no?
Yes,
I would like to visit
I would
Australia
like to visit
in the
Australia
future.
in the future.
Very good. Okay. Next, repeat use.
Use,
Okay, with the letter Z pronunciation. Use and
use,
then use
oh, use.
and use. So there you go. So it's a noun and a verb again. Okay, so listen. So the difference between use and use is that use with the letter Z pronunciation use is a verb, and with the letter S use is the noun. Okay, so let's practice. What's the difference between use and use? What's the difference between use and use? The difference
The
between
difference
use and
between use
use
and
is that
use
use
is
is a
that
verb,
use is a verb,
whereas use
whereas the
is the
use
noun.
is a noun.
What's the use of a pen? What's the use of a pen? The use of a
The
pen
use of a pen
is for
is to
writing.
write,
Is for
for
writing.
writing,
What's the
is
use in
for
studying languages? What's the use in studying languages? The use in
use
studying
of
languages
studying language
is
is
to
to
make it
communicate, or
communicate
to make it communicate
to other people
to other
from
people
other countries.
from other countries.
Very good. Okay, next repeat. Therefore.
Therefore,
Okay, very good. Okay, listen. Therefore is an adverb. It means because of that, therefore. For example, I want to learn English. Because of that, I must study. Or we can say, I want to learn English. Therefore, I must study. Let's practice. Give me an example of the word therefore. Give me an example of the word therefore, please. I want to learn English
I
well.
want to learn English
Therefore,
well.
I must study.
Therefore, I must study.
Very good. Okay, let's have the last one. Repeat sound.
Sound,
Traffic.
traffic,
Silent.
silent.
Very good. Okay, listen. Sound is a noun. It is something heard. Sound may also mean to suggest an idea or things the way something is said, the way I say it. For example, when people are angry, their voice aren't calm but angry. So we can say they sound angry. Traffic is a noun. It means that coming and going of cars, people along the roads, an area, etc. Silent is an adjective. It is another word for quiet. For example, you can hear me talking to you. You can hear the sound of my voice. We can hear the sound of traffic at the outside. I do. My house is completely silent at night. Let's practice. Can you hear the sound of my pen on the table? Can you hear the sound of my pen on the table? Yes, I
Yes,
can
I
hear the
can
sound
hear the sound
of your
of
pen
your
on the
pen
table.
in the table.
Can you hear the sound of traffic at the moment? Can you hear the sound of traffic at the moment? Yes or no?
No, I
I
can't hear
hear
the
the
sound
sound of
of
traffic
traffic
at the
at the
moment.
moment.
Do you think the English language sounds pleasant? Do you think the English language sounds pleasant? Yes or no?
Yes,
I
I
think
think
the English
I the English
language. Well, no, yes,
language.
I think
Yes, I
the
think
English
the
language
English
sounds pleasant.
language sounds present.
Wait, do I sound angry at the moment? Do I sound angry at the moment? No, you don't
No,
sound
you
angry
don't
at the
sound
moment.
angry at the
You
moment.
sound funny.
You sounds funny.
Is your house completely silent at night or can you hear street noise? Is your house completely silent at night or can you hear street noise? My house is
My
completely
house is
silent at night.
completely silent at night.
Very good. Okay, now let's move on to reading.
Oh, I cannot because I'm using computer now.
Oh, that's
I
good. So
cannot
let's
see.
let's continue new work. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So repeat
Ah,
the,
la.
the,
Oh, the.
and,
And
the.
the.
Okay, let me put it this way. There we go. Okay, listen. Okay, here we go. So the difference between and an is that we use in the sentence before a consonant sound, not a consonant letter, but a consonant sound, whereas we use an before a vowel sound. Okay? For example, a book, because the word book starts with the letter b, a consonant sound. We say an apple because the word apple starts with the sound a vowel sound. A-E-I-O-U, an apple. Okay, let's practice. What's the difference between and and? What's the difference between and and? The difference
The
between
difference
and
between
and
a
is
and
that
an
we use
is that we use a
before a consonant sound,
before consonant sound,
whereas we use an
whereas we use and
before a vowel
before
sound.
vowel sound.
Well, give me an example of each. Give me an example of each, please. A book, an
A
apple.
book, an apple.
Very good. Okay. The difference between the and the is the same. We say the before a consonant sound, whereas we say the before a vowel sound. Okay. Let's practice. Give me an example of the. Give me an example of the, please. The chair is red.
That chair
Is
is
red.
red.
Give me an example of the. Give me an example of the, please. The apple is red.
The apple is red.
Very good. Okay, listen. The noun use starts with the letter U, a vowel, but it sounds like the letter Y, use, a consonant sound. So we say the use and not the use. Okay, so but we stop there for today. But very
Mm-hmm.
good practice.